So that was somewhat early in his conversation with Pat McAfee, TJ, and it was LeBron somewhat framing himself as a bit of a victim. I think you believe that more strongly than I do. I think that LeBron's overall appearance on Pat McAfee, he was trying desperately hard to be likable, and I'm not sure if he pulled it off. I think he wanted to come off as one of the guys, and hey, I'm the type of guy Pat McAfee could have a beer with, and you sports bros out there, you could have a beer with. But I don't think he pulled it off because one, I thought he cursed way too much, he was too profane, and over, even though I thought he had the right energy, I think if you examined his message throughout this interview, it undermined the likability.
It's like, hey man, this whole thing, you're not. He's 40 years old. How old is LeBron? He's
41, I think.
41.
40 or 41.
You're a 41-year-old man who is now coming on one of the most popular shows on television to tell us that you were a victim back then, and they've been trying to get you since that moment. How is that likable in any way?
It's not, but let me push back and ask you this question. LeBron's never been a victim. People are saying, "Who? He didn't know his father. His mother had substance abuse problems or some problems early on. He grew, from age 0 to 12 or 14 or whatever. He was poor, they would say, and so didn't know his father. Not knowing his father that's not his fault. Doesn't that make him some sort of a victim?
Well, then we're all a victim of something, right? If you have a dad in the home but he's got anger problems, are you a victim of that? If you have a mother that would prefer to work a job a little bit more so she's not at home, are you a victim of neglect? We can all paint this idea of victimhood. The reality is when you are, since the time you were 18 years old, been a guy that has had every single person take care of every one of your problems forever. He's never been in any trouble, as far as we know, but he's been the golden child who, if he had gotten any trouble, we would likely never know about it.
All right, now, so let me just stop this video real fast because, this story is a story that keeps on giving because it's going viral every day. First, it was going viral because LeBron James stepped to Stephen A. Smith. Of course, that clip went viral. And then Stephen A. Smith, he kept talking about it. And now we had LeBron James actually go into the Pat McAfee show and dissect the whole incident that happened in the arena. And, that's been going viral. And Stephen A. Smith, he actually responded and said that, he said, if LeBron James, if he would have done anything, he would have, basically, catch the fade with him. But we know that that's a lie, of course, because I don't believe that Stephen A. Smith has that inside of him. So let's get back to the clip.
The Akron police, the attorneys and people around him, politicians, everybody loves LeBron James. How would we even know if he was ever crossing the line? It's very unlikely. So in my view, he's the opposite of the victim. He is one of the, not only the most gifted, again, that was given by God. You can't tell me with that sort of gift that he's been giving that he's any sort of victim. Certainly not from God himself, okay?
Yeah.
He's one of the most privileged people to ever exist. So I'll never buy the victimhood narrative, and he can't sell it. He's trying. He's still at 41 years old.
I agree with you that it's impossible to sell the victimhood narrative when you've been a multi-millionaire longer than you were ever poor. And so let's say at 18 he gets that contract and he's now 40 plus. He's been rich far longer than he's been poor. And the reality is, and everybody knows this if they apply any common sense, LeBron was rich before that Nike contract in terms of the number of grown men and businessmen and people that discovered him at age 12 and were like, hey, we just got to take advantage of this guy's athleticism and get him through high school so he can get this Nike contract and NBA contract. And so he's been taken care of by a group of adults pouring into him at least since he was 12, probably started when he was 10. Mm-hmm. People recognize this sort of athletic talent very early on, and they get involved with trying to help that person. And so LeBron's had a lot of help for a long time. He's not someone that was, neglected forever. And so I agree with you.
All right, now, so there you have it, the story that keeps on giving. As I said, LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, they had an incident a couple of, I would say 2 weeks ago, and that was filmed. And after that was, filmed by some people in the crowd, that clip went viral, to say at least. So that clip went viral, and Stephen A. Smith, he was, pressed. And the reason why was because LeBron James, he said, "Stop talking about my son." And Stephen A. Smith, he kept talking about it for, several days. And now we finally have LeBron James breaking down exactly what happened. And he claimed that Stephen A. Smith is basically like, a fan, and he's a big fan of him. And here's what I can say about this drama. LeBron James, I've never seen him on, a black platform. He only goes to, platforms where there are non-black people. And I think that is wrong, because he should support his brother more. So we never see him at, the Gills Arena. Even before Stephen A. Smith was, dissing his son, he never would go to his platform. And, it's just sad. And LeBron James, he would go to Skip Bayless's platform before he would even consider going to, the Gills Arenas and all these, brothers' platforms. And I think that's a shame. So, let me know what you think about this. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next videos.